welcome to our GP Online Sabbath School. Let's sing some songs.
If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. If you're happy and you know it, then your life will surely show it. If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. If you're happy and you know it, stomp your feet. If you're happy and you know it, stomp your feet. If you're happy and you know it, then your life will surely show it. If you're happy and you know it, stomp your feet. If you're happy and you know it, shout amen. If you're happy and you know it, shout amen. Amen. If you're happy and you know it, then your life will surely show it. If you're happy and you know it, shout amen. Amen. If you're happy and you know it, 2 or 3. Amen. If you're happy and you know it, 2 or 3. Amen. If you're happy and you know it, then your life will surely show it. If you're happy and you know it, 2 or 3.
This the light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This the light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This the light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine.
Let's listen to this week's memory verse.
And Elisha replied, "How can I help you?" That's 2 Kings 4:2.
Lesson 9. Hello, boys and girls. This is Aunt Fernita, and I have a wonderful story for you called The Never-Ending Oil. Today's memory verse is from 2 Kings chapter 4, verse 2. It says, Elisha replied, "How can I help you?" The message for today's story is God's people care for one another. Has your family ever asked to borrow something from a neighbor? Maybe some flour or sugar or perhaps a garden tool. A poor widow once borrowed some unusual things from her neighbors. The poor widow came to Elisha with tear stains on her face. "My husband was a good man who loved the Lord, but now he is dead," she said. "The man my husband owed money to says if I don't pay him, he will take away my 2 sons to be his slaves." "How can I help you?" Elisha asked gently. "Tell me, what do you have in your house?" "Nothing," the widow answered. "I have nothing except for a little oil." Elisha thought about her need. "Go to all your friends and neighbors," he said, "and borrow as many jars as you can. Then go home and shut the door. Pour the oil from your jar into all the empty borrowed jars." So the widow and her sons filled their house with their neighbors' empty jars. Then the woman shut the door, and she began to pour oil from her jar into the first borrowed jar. The oil kept flowing, and soon that first jar was full. And she poured into the next jar, and she poured into the jar after that. And she kept going, and soon she lost count. She just kept pouring until all the jars were full. "Bring me another jar," she said. "There aren't any more jars, Mother," her boys exclaimed. "You filled them all." The woman's eyes sparkled. She hurried out of the house and ran to find Elisha. "I did exactly what you said. I borrowed as many empty jars as I could, and now they're all filled with oil, and I still have oil in my jar." Elisha smiled. "Go and sell the oil," he said. "Pay back what your husband owed, and you will have money left over for you and your sons to live on." The widow woman praised the Lord for the miracle of the oil. She thanked God for taking care of her, and she thanked him for Elisha and her neighbors. That day, the widow and her sons learned that they could trust the Lord to take care of them. We can trust God to send the right people to take care of us too. Boys and girls, God wants us to be good neighbors as well. How can you be a good neighbor, and how can you help others today?
This podcast was brought to you by Studio El Piso and Gracelink.net. For more children's resources, please visit Gracelink.net.
It's story time with Mr. Willard.
Howdy, boys and girls. Mr. Willard here. And we got a little problem we was talking about in our last video right there. I got a big old spider out here on my porch. Don't know what to do with. But we wonder sometimes we run onto a spider. What should we do? Boys and girls, let that spider run away. They're afraid of you, and they'll run away if we'll give them just a chance right there. Let them go, because the Lord put the fear of people into all animals. Genesis 9:2 tells about Noah and the flood, and when Noah come out of the ark, he was afraid of all the big animals, afraid they'd attack him. One of them, there were some lions in there. Lions eat people, they get a little hungry. So Noah was afraid, and God said, "Noah, don't be afraid. I'll put the fear of man in all the animals. All of the animals will be afraid of man. All the big animals, little animals, birds, insects, snakes, everything. All the animals, everything that is alive on the land will be afraid of man. And spiders are no exception. They're afraid of you, and they'll run away if you let them. So if you run into a spider and everything, don't mess with it. Just back up, let him go his way. If you need help, call your mom and dad. Say, "Mom, Dad, got a spider over here. Need a little help?" They'll help you. Now, this little spider right here, we don't have to be too afraid of him, do we? Yeah, look at there. I don't think he's a real spider. Do you? But he made a good example of talking about spiders, huh? We can talk about spiders. Look at that web. Boy, it's a big old web. You know, spiders spin webs. They make the web out of their body. It's a miracle. It's a special talent the Lord gave spiders to be able to do that. So anyway, they're beneficial to man. We learned about that. They eat insects, mosquitoes, and all that. I'm glad for that because I don't like mosquitoes, boy. Carry disease and make you sick. It's flies too. I don't like flies. They'll make you sick too. So we don't have to be too afraid of spiders. Just be respectful there and let them have their way. Stay out of their way and let them go, you know. But there are some people that have an abnormal fear of spiders. It's called arachnophobia, where they just get terrified. That's not really good, you know. But normal, healthy respect for spiders is not a bad thing. Most spiders are not poisonous. They give you, if they happen to bite you, well, it's not too bad. It's a little more than a mosquito bite. You might get a little infection or something in there, but it's only two kinds I'm aware of that's in the United States that are poisonous: brown recluse and black willow. But if we stay away from all spiders, we're going to be good, right? Amen. Now, spiders set traps for their prey. That big old web right there, some of those lines in that web are sticky. So when a fly buzzes by, hits that web, he's stuck. He's glued to that web. Now, the spider said, dinner right there. Goes over and traps that insect and eats him. So, yeah, you know, so that's the way they catch their prey. They have a sticky web, and the flies or mosquitoes get stuck in there. So they set traps. You know what? The old devil's the same way. 1 Peter 5:8 says that old devil walks around like a roaring lion, seeking whom he may devour. Now, devour means to eat up. When lions devour their prey, they eat it all up. That's what spiders do to their prey. That's what lions do, and it's what the devil do to us. But we want to stay away from him. We want to always mind our parents and do what we know is right. If we have a little problem, we can ask Jesus to help us. No matter what time of day or night it is, no matter what the situation is, Jesus will help us. All we have to do is ask him to. Dear Jesus, please help me. I want to be good and I want to do what's right. All right? So we have a helper in Jesus who loves us very much. And I love you too, boys and girls. Now, till next time, y'all be good.
Thank you for joining us on our GP Online Sabbath School. See you next time!